People of YouTube, my name is Steve Gray and thank you for watching. Today we're going to be talking about Yashahime Princess Half Demoned Season 2 Episode 8. And while I'll be honest with you, I kind of enjoyed this episode. At the same time, I feel like they could have maybe put this part later in the season to a certain extent. I know there's going to be like some character development, some character growth for the next several episodes, but we are in side quest right now. We are not on the main story. We are off the beaten path, and it is going to stay that way for the next several episodes because there's a lot going on. So we're not going to be saving Inuyasha and Kagome anytime soon. We're not going to be saving Rin anytime soon. Sesshomaru is probably not going to show up anytime soon. Yeah, we're stuck on side quest right now. So let's do Towa's side quest first, and then we'll work our way to Setsuna and Mora's side quest. So Towa doesn't really know what to do. She's just kind of hanging out because she has nothing to do right now. And then Rion and Riku show up, and they're like, hey, Zero's going to try to kill you, so we are going to stay with you as extra protection just to be on the safe side. Then we have Zero, who is off going to some other demon's mansion. She is going to use him to set a trap for Towa. We don't fully know what that is as of yet, but we know there is a trap, and we are going to need to spray it at some point in time. We do briefly see Kirinmaru show up, and he was inevitably going to fight all of them, and then he finds out that Towa has the ability to see the little windmill chipmunk spirit kid, the guy who has like the power of time. Rion mentions that, time no longer favors him. It is no longer his time anymore. It is now Towa's time. You have to move on. He does not want to accept that, but he says it's kind of interesting. And then he kind of floats away to the distance, kind of threatening Rion, saying, it's not going to be as easy for you. I'm not going to be protecting you anymore. Things along those lines. But Rion is already dead. I guess technically she's just, kind of soil and bones, but we'll leave it at that and go from there. And in that process of Kirinmaru leaving, he shoots off a couple of blasts and actually ends up blinding Riku. Now, we don't know if he's actually permanently blind or if it's just a temporary injury. He says that my eyes have been injured. So, as I said, we don't fully know if he's completely blind or he's just like a temporarily injured. He actually mentioned that, this is kind of a good thing because now he can no longer see what we're doing, which is pretty nice. So, I don't know. Him and Zero are butting heads too, so he may end up showing up when Zero is trying to kill Towa because he may need Towa in order to see the little chipmunk dude of time in order to fulfill his dreams. Moving on to Mora and the raccoon demon people, I guess you could call them. She gets captured, she gets locked up, she ends up spying on them. Little raccoon dude's younger brother is the head of the clan. And then we learn that the old raccoon guy is actually the full-on crazy moon raccoon demon. And as you can see from the thumbnail, she ends up becoming Inuyasha, fighting the thing, uses the Crimson Dragon Way, but I think this demon has the ability to use your own attacks against you. At least that's what it seems like, anyway. So she's going to be dealing with that, and then when she inevitably defeats them, which it looks like she doesn't, looks like based on the preview she passes out, and then little raccoon boy there wakes her up. I keep forgetting his name. I apologize. So that's what we're calling him. And wakes her up at some point in time. So she probably gets knocked out. She's going to have to reevaluate and go back and attack, figure out what's going on there. Then we get on to Setsuna's and the demon hunters, slayers, whatever you want to call them. Their abilities, what they're doing, they are protecting this village. Where there is this magical object of grain, which gives the village prosperity. So everybody's rich, they got a lot of money, makes all the soil fertile, where the actual object is itself is like this giant perfect circle. Sunshine is always on it. Snow does not touch it, things along those lines. And somebody's after it, some dude is after it, he wants it for himself, so he's sending these demon flame bulls. Bull, like a cow, like a mad cow, I guess you could call it that way too, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Bull, B-U-L-L is how that's spelled. My pronunciation of it may sound a little funny. It sounded funny to my head. But yeah, he is sending them all after this village to attack because he wants to steal it for himself. And Setsuna's like, hey, why don't you just let him have it? Big whoop-de-doo. What's the problem? And he was like, no, then we're all going to end up being in the poorhouse, basically. And so, yeah, they've all been hired, and they're going to get a hefty sum of money for helping protect this grain object. And we get a preview of Setsuna. Looks like she can now see the Fate line. Her spear becomes blood red infused with her blood blade, so she is going to gain that skill. I think that's the main reason we're having this kind of side quest, is so that Toa can get a little bit stronger. Mora can, do her own thing separate from the other two, because she's usually the third wheel most of the time. And so Setsuna can gain her ability to cut through the strings of fate. And that's pretty much all she wrote for this episode. Decent episode overall, not good, not bad. Probably like a 6 or 7 out of 10. I'll be honest with you, I think the main reason I'm annoyed right now is because it's like, they made it so like persistent, like, oh god, we're gonna save Rin right now, we need to do this right now, she's dying. The second he cut that fate, Sesshomaru cut that fate, then that's all she wrote. Cut it, and then Rin is now going to slowly die. So you would think we would be focusing on just Setsuna right now to go save Rin, but no, we have all these random freaking side quests that are just popping up, getting us away from the main storyline, and that is kind of aggravating me, because it's like, Kagome and Inuyasha, they're not going to go anywhere. They're not injured, they're not dying. That can wait until whenever. But Rin, their mother, needs to be saved immediately or she will die. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And the problem is they can't do anything about the scale until Setsuna figures out how to cut the string of fate. So hopefully next episode she learns how to do that, and then after next episode we get out of these kind of side quest fillery episodes. I would call this more of a side quest than a filler episode. Doesn't feel very fillery. And go save Rin finally. Zero is probably going to end up dying at some point. That may be the big fight of this season, is everybody versus Zero. Or possibly not. I did finally was able to confirm that we are getting 24 episodes like we did last season. So we got a long ways to go. We're only 8 episodes deep at this point. So how many episodes does that leave left? Let's do some math. 16, I believe. We have 16 episodes left. So, it's going to be non-stop. I believe they're still airing this on Christmas Day, because I think Christmas is on a Saturday, and I think they're still airing it, unless they might have a break there. That and New Year's, I could see them having a break. But who knows? We'll see if they end up airing it anyway. But that's pretty much it. That's kind of where I am with my annoyance level. Not, as I said, not bad. Not a bad episode, but at the same time, I feel like they need to put Rin in there every episode to kind of get you on the edge of their seat, to get you on that time frame like, oh crap, we need to take care of this, because if we don't soon, that scale is going to spread all over the place and she is going to die, and everybody's going to be very, very sad. So now there's really nothing they can do about it. My guess is if when I should say she finally gets saved. I wonder if they're going to age her up because she's out of the Tree of Ages now that she's back in the normal timeline, because it has been like 10 years at that point in time, or they're just going to leave her as like an 18-year-old because she was frozen in time for that entire time frame, for that entire time period. I don't really know. Well, that's kind of my guess, is they'll probably end up aging her up once she gets out of there. And then they can all be a happy half-demon family again, theoretically. Theoretically. Then maybe, then we're going to have to go save Inuyasha and Kagome at some point along the lines too. But, we got a long ways to go. So, I can see this little side quest. It might go for another 3 or 4 episodes before we actually get into the gist of it. I think the main 2 things that are going to happen this season is Rin is going to get saved and Zero is probably going to get killed. They may leave Kirinmaru alive, and they may leave out Kagome and Inuyasha, depending on how well the season does, which it seems to be doing well so far, especially in Japan. I know Season 1, very well favored in Japan. And that's usually, you know, where they base the audience off of as to whether or not it's getting a next season. And then they could always do Kaigomi, Inuyasha, and Kirin Maru. I mean, maybe just do like a shorter season 3, a 12-episode arc, and then that'll just kind of end it and be all she wrote. But obviously, they're going to milk the cow for all it's worth. More bull antics. As the flame bulls are in this thing. They look really weird. It's like a floating bull with no legs and giant wooden baskets on its leg with fire. Interesting looking thing. And that'll be all she wrote. So that's where we're going to end it. My name is Steve Gray. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a like. Feel free to comment down below what you want to see for future anime and cartoon related videos, whether it be a review, a meme, or something a little different. I am not opposed to doing different things. Just comment down below. I'll see what I can do for you. Yet again, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.